Morocco is a large country, but in 1984 we visited the five cities underlined on the map by road. Travelling by ferry across the straits from Gibraltar to Tangiers, we explored the utter chaos of the city's renowned Medina and the mass of souks or shops selling everything you could possibly think of. And lots of things you wouldn't want to think about either.
Remember, there was a second Spanish quarter, the one of the average.
Itinerant sellers of drinks to be avoided, and almost everything else within the souks pestered us continuously as we travelled through the never-ending alleyways of the souk-lined Medina. It was an unforgettable experience. Quite a surprise was this Catholic church in this strictly Muslim country. Of course, there were magnificent mosques almost everywhere. I was in fact told that there were hundreds of mosques within the Medina at Tangiers. Then it was back on the coach to see the exclusive seaside areas of Tangiers, where famous people like Hemingway lived during Tangiers' heyday.
The most important part. And now are we to Le Mirage, close to the so-called Hercules.
This is where the Mediterranean meets the Atlantic Ocean. As we head south down the western coastline of Morocco, with beautiful vistas of the Atlantic Ocean beyond. And of course there were the inevitable vendors who always turn up wherever visitors gather. And I guess this would be a pretty good spot to try to circle something.
The bank would only exchange go in.
Another stop further south at an upmarket restaurant, and with a beautiful view. The fishing boats anchored here apparently trawl prolific sardine grounds offshore. Another stop with more hopeful vendors, this time also offering camel and donkey rides. I'm afraid they didn't get too many takers from our busload.
How many price for lunch?
Every stop brought more vendors, trying to sell almost everything you could possibly think of. Mostly pretty rubbishy, but now and again there was something worthwhile, so we tended to have a look, but we didn't do a lot of buying, because most of the stuff wasn't really all that good, and it was also very hard to decide whether it was really good value.
Did I take a picture of the camera?
You can take it. You'd be better getting in the doorway there and take it. Oh, well, here, take it that way.
This is an interesting example of an Arab vendor trying to sell to our Arab bus driver. He certainly tried hard, but as you will see, he didn't win, but he certainly tried hard. The Arab race, the Moroccans or Moors especially, are regarded as some of the toughest and most persistent traders in the world, as you can see. He didn't give up easily, but finally the driver was told to get on board the coach and drive. Thankfully, we didn't stop at the market in this town. I think we'd had enough vending for a while.
Souk, the market. People trying to sell their local products just along the road. Every particular conditions we'll find here, we can get up to 3 seasons, or we can see 3 harvests every year, depending on what you're raising. And obviously also the cane being harvested just maybe today, brought to the factory. Drink alcohol, right? And you must not eat pork.
As we left the coast and drove further inland towards the Atlas Mountains, we encountered a lot more agriculture in richer soil, which is also well watered by the trade winds coming in from the Atlantic Ocean and the moisture from them being stopped by the sudden uplift over the Atlas Mountains. This was said to be the most productive agricultural region in the whole of Morocco. and we saw our first stork in a nest built on top of a telegraph pole. But we saw many more as we travelled further through Morocco, where storks do seem to be quite prevalent, and the people like them too.
It was really quick. I mean, the most famous university, remember I've told about the great Moorish mathematicians, astronomers, philosophers, poets, how about a lot of things, and I'm sure everybody will discover Fez to be one of our highlights on this tour of Morocco.
Religious capital only inside the Medina, 320 mosques.
Al-Qarawiyyin in Fez was founded in the year 859 and is renowned as the oldest university in the world. The Medina in Fez is also regarded as the biggest and best of them all.
Was that blue doors?
You notice those lovely flowers.
The Jews still having their business in this area, but they're living in the northern France. In the front, on the left side, this is the main entrance to the new Medina of Fez, Fez Al-Jadid. Like we're having two different Medinas. The new Medina is only from the 14th century, and when we say the old Medina, that's where we're going to have our walking tour. So most of these streets, most of the markets, were existing from the beginning of the 9th century. And once they're convinced that you are not interested, they will leave you in peace, and that's for the rest of the day. And this is the best way to enjoy your
And here we go, into the famous Medina in Fez. Chaotic and hectic, with many thousands of souk, hundreds of mosques, many hotels within the Medina itself, and quite literally the commercial centre of Morocco.
So these, that's kind of grain market, like you can see, a part of the city wall. Because wall the Medina is surrounded by... always there is the public bakery for baking bread. And the good thing with this public bakery is for the fire, we use the old olive tree, and that gives the taste to our bread. Plus we have to make special mark on the bread, and that helps the man who owns the place to recognize the bread of all these families living around. Please, another thing that we have
This is a fascinating little glimpse of the Arab trader and seller in action. The vendor believes he has some high quality grain here for sale, but the shrewd buyer has different ideas. It's fascinating to watch them as they interact. But I gather that this is the way it works when Arab buys from Arab, especially in the tough trading nation of Morocco.
الخويا هذيك على هذه ونطرموا بالبارا ونردوه وغادي يجي هذا مضرب شويه بالبيض الانسان غادي يجي غير شويه ولكن هذا عندي طرف واحد وهذه لا تدخل شكل ممكن نضيع الحمد لله
So please, if you don't mind, your little attention for a few minutes that the gentleman Hassan is going to explain about this lovely work. Then you will have time to look around. And
of the King's Palace, his father had made it, and the lamps and the gate of the Mausoleum Muhammad V in Rabat. Look, when we work on trays, we work only with one simple, just like this, without design, without nothing. It's freehand. That's called real artist work. But in Morocco or downtown or in Marrakesh or Casablanca, you will see different artisans. They use the different just like this, but has different designs on it. When they knock on the chisel, design go out. They can mix about 100 trays each day. That's called stamps work. That's the things that you can see at the hotels, in souks, in Marrakesh, everywhere. But DJ Clement, he can work one tray each day. Example, this, when it will be finished, it will be the similar design you can see here on the medals. That's what we call it the plaster design. You can find in the old universities and the old mosques in Paris. This is the similar design at the principal gate of the King's Palace. That's what we call it the sun design. This is the copy of the old Arabic writing. This can find in the old universities and the old mosques on the walls, on the plaster design, on the mosaic design. And this is the inside of the synagogue here in Fez, because each tray is representing a design for monument. And all those trays, that's not the things that you can see at the hotels, or in souks, in Marrakesh, or Casablanca, because you find someone's sell trays, it's made by machine, or made by children who has already designed monitors called stamps work, or even iron printed. And to be sure that's the real one or no, doesn't change. It has government control. On the back, it's 100% handmade and 100% South bronze. And to keep it shine, if you have some bronze or brass or copper at home, you can clean it only with fresh lemon. You take a piece of lemon, you cut it into pieces, you rub it with it, then you can keep it always shine. If you clean with a chemical product, it comes some spot green or white inside the design. Then only with natural fresh lemon. So everything that you can see here, it's 100% handmade and artwork. And you're going to visit all of Morocco, you will never see again that kind of work. This is our specialty. This is real artwork, and everything it has the price on it. And the price here is not depend by the size or the weight. It's depend by the work, because you're going to find some articles, small ones, cost 2 times more expensive for the big ones. For example, this size takes 1 day and a half works on it, costs 230 dirhams. But for the inside groups, we make 10% discount, only 200 dirhams for this size. Whether it's a similar size and the similar weight, 3 days works on it, with chills more smaller, takes more time, cost 340, only 300 dirhams. Always the same size, but it's more work. 5 days works, it's called sun and the moon, bronze with the copper, cost 680, only 600 dirhams. 1 week works, bronze with the color and natural enamels on it. Never come off and never tiny. It costs 1,000 dirhams, but only 900 dirhams. Our last creation is this. You need to see it very well, because you're going to visit all of Morocco, you will never see again that kind of work. This takes around 10 days to make 1 tray like this. It's bronze with copper on sterling silver. These art pieces cost 1,300 dirhams, but for the two only 1,170 dirhams. Look, here in Morocco, please, your attention please for a few minutes. Here in Morocco, everywhere you go, you see handcraft and artisan things. But there's many people and many tourists, they don't know between the real handcrafts and imitations. Sometimes they find something very cheap at the hotels or in souks or in the markets, they make good deal. For example, this kind of mirror, you see it's more shiny, more nice at the hotels, in souks, everywhere. They told you bronze. Look, first it's only paper painting. It's made with chills, has already designed one that's called stamps work. We're going to see what inside this mirror. Look, inside they told you it's bronze, but only fish boxes painting. You have to take very good care, because the things that you can see at the hotels or in souks, only trays or teapots, only with this material. You can use 2 times, it's tiny, you can throw it away. And even for the teapots, there's many people who are interested to buy a teapot to make tea at home or coffee. For example, this kind of teapot, you see it's more shiny, more white. At the first time, it's pure silver. But you can use 3 times or 4 times, it's tinish. It's very dangerous for the head. Only brass with nickel. That we have here, it's a real white nickel with government control on the back. Never come black and never tinish. You can clean it only with soap and water, that's all. And you can keep it always shine. And for the payment here, you can pay by dollars, travel checks, all credit cards are accepted without problem. And if you are interested to buy something, it is necessary to carry it around Medina. You can put only your name on the package, then after the visit, you will find on the bus, on the coach. And if you are interested to buy something bigger, you don't want to carry it with you, we do shipping all over the world without problem. Thank you for your attention, please. Have your time. Take your time.
These are really cheap.
Badly, the 30-year-old analog tape, which I had to transfer to digital before I could put it on YouTube, becomes seriously affected with noise on top and bottom of the frame at this point, and it goes on for quite some time. But I felt that there's such a lot of interesting material about to be screened that it was better to retain this tape and present it to you with the middle of the picture pretty stable and only the top and bottom of the picture showing bad noise and lots of picture. There is some very interesting material here, as I'm sure you will agree. How is this for a traffic jam? Amazing. But gradually he works his way through the crowd without hurting anybody or upsetting the donkey either.
Straight on we go,
Here, what we call a fanduk. As I said before, inside this Medina, 200 fanduks. And the meaning of the word fanduk, hotel. And some Moroccans, they still use these fanduks for one reason. It's very practical. When you come from the countryside with the merchandise, that means you can expose your merchandise down here and you can have the room in the first floor. Olives. So we have the black olives and we have the red olives. The black that you eat with the bread. Minty, piece of bread, and the black. Then we have the green with the chili. You can eat it also, but the red we use with the lemon, chicken with lemon or with the tagine. They're selling also a different kind of the Moroccan honey and the olive oil. And one thing very important, what they're selling there, the camel meat with the fat. It's already cooked, and you have to save it with the fat, like 1 or 2 years, no problem. So the Moroccan families, we love this kind of meat, especially for breakfast. So all the wealthy families in Fes, Medina, or anywhere in Morocco, we have enough money, you buy your camel, then you kill it and you make enough food for 1 year. If not, you can buy kilos, like what they say there are 5 kilos. And when I say the camel meat, that's a kind of dry and tasty meat. And in Morocco, it's twice expensive compared to beef or lamb.
Yes. No, I don't want to buy it. If you want to buy it, I'll buy something.
Here's my bourbon.
This is the tannery, by far the swelliest place in the whole of the Medina, because they tan the leather with camel dung, amongst other things. So we didn't stay very long.
I didn't say, I don't know.
Second, you better go home and have a sleep.
Quranic school. Quranic school. Existing in Fes Medina from the 14th century. We call it Nedjarin Fountain.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
You believe me now when I said that's the easiest thing in the world.
I mean, in there even in some of the banks. So we're not as bad, can I tell you? No.
No way.
No.
Find you.
This is the mosque, which of course we were not allowed to enter, being strictly for Muslims only.
From $4,000 American up to $20,000. But you never find it.
Boy,
So please, this is one of the oldest mosques existing in all North Africa. Karawi Mosque, that's from beginning of the 9th century. It has 14 entrances, 275 columns, and it's mosque that for 25,000 people can pray at once, and that's every Friday. The lipstick here it's green. When you make it, it becomes red. You make it red. You change the color. Cheese. And this is the 45 spices for the barbecue, shish kebabs, whatever. Tagine that we use for the tagine. So if one of you wish to have 4 wives, you better buy the 45 spices. And the one on the forehead, married with the big man,
C'est vrai.
Muhammad Ali. To have an idea about the price, you have the henna for 10 dirhams, which is one
Of all the things we saw in the Medina, this is the one that really got the ladies in. Magic lipstick. Goes on green, comes out red. Of course, the key is that the lipstick contains a clever pH indicator, whereby the green colour changes to red when it comes in contact with the slightly acidic lips. Very clever gimmick. So much so that we really had a problem to get the ladies away from it. They bought up big.
Tattoo with the ladies.
And of course they make Persian-style, so-called carpets everywhere in the Middle East. And inevitably we had the compulsory visit to a carpet factory where the salesman gave us the usual hard sell.
As a makeup tool, because in the old days there is 2 seasons. When the Adi cold time season is over, then it's no more the men who work outside, no. Then it becomes his turn to go inside the house to watch the children cook the food. And it's the lady who goes out to look for the wood to get ready for the fire for the winter time. So whenever the woman gets back in the afternoon, she really doesn't have enough time to make the makeup. That's how they put that to once, and he stays for the lifetime. So it's a makeup for the lady, plus it's a signification between one tribe to another. You can see the tattoo, it says it comes from such tribe. How you say it?
No.
It means you girls, you're too bloody warm, so you're gonna end up sleeping outside tonight. So mind yourself, boys, huh? Them to clean it, they put it this way on the summer season. As I said earlier on, they walk on a few weeks, immediately the dust and the powder falls down, and the nuts goes tighter, and the design shows much better, and that's how it becomes thinner, antique, more valuable. Before we go any further, there comes the typical. So please, it's boiled water, green tea, which is the Chinese tea, sugar, and the fresh mint. So it's nice and warm, but it's refreshing, and it's also good for the stomach, my dear people. We have no silk in Morocco, sir. Only wool. This comes in measurements around and a center flower. Nuts are more finer than the Berbers. That's how you can easily look at it much better from the other side. Of course, it looks like a needle points from the back, that's one thing. And the second thing, it's the only way you can eat. Why? Because the poor lady that makes such things, she must be very careful, counting so many numbers of knots from here to here, from its design to another, like this, the design would be very symmetrical with no problem at all. That's how you can easily a mistake, it's always from the back. Please, doesn't mean by me saying this, it means you will not find the mistake. Yes, please. You will find the mistake. Why? Because any handmade carpet in the world, not in Morocco only, must have a mistake because the ladies, they do it on purpose. And of course, the ladies, they do it on purpose because they know that no one's perfect except God. And also to take away the evil eye too. He's the blue of Fez and it's the local color. It's what they call the Fez blue. So please, this was an edit concerning royal type carpet. Now we're going to show you the super fine or the extra superb Fez carpet. Extra superb Fez carpet, much tighter, much finer, and 100% wool. Always both sides, winter and summer. That is the advantage of the Moroccan handmade carpet. Runners. Of course, this has been made, used and washed many times. We have 2 floors full of carpet. I've got friends of mine, they also speak English. They will help you about the different colors, size and everything. Majority of the people hardly ever come to Morocco with the attention of buying the carpet. Lest you price them home. You know how much fortune it costs back there. As soon as you get over here, you find beautiful pieces, inexpensive. Of course, that's when you happen to get it tempted. That's when you start to become interested.
Outside, of course, there was more hard sell, but this time some rather nice carry bags made from very soft camel leather.
Yes.
It's time to go, but with wonderful memories of the famous Fez Medina, an unforgettable experience, with much more to come as we travel further throughout Morocco. In other videos yet to come on YouTube.